Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm your host, Brandon. This is my lovely co-host,
Jacquelyn.
and this is a Love Like That podcast. What is going on, everyone?
Yes.
I'm happy to be here. What's going on, baby? Looking all good in your 100-acre woods Winnie the Pooh sweater.
That's right. Got a rep for the
I love it.
original.
Which one was your favorite character?
Tigger.
Tigger?
Yeah, Tigger was a little, office
Tigger was
rocker,
cool. I did like Tigger. Tigger was my guy as well. I mean, but of course, my heart favorite is Winnie the Pooh.
I know. Winnie was the star of the show and just so pure and
I think that's why I love because he just had like a really pure heart. He's a little gullible at times, but he had a pure heart, man. So
yeah.
Look, shout out to Winnie the Pooh. We did not come
here.
We did not come here to talk about this.
But listen, it's life, man. We were born in the 80s.
It is 80s, baby. Stand up. All right. Hey, listen. Look, that was actually like the coolest thing to say. I mean, I still 80s baby stand up, but as time goes on, I don't know if that still holds the same.
I know.
It's the same weight.
Good.
80s babies be like, I'm an 80s baby. Oh, you're so young. And now it's like, I'm an 80s baby. Oh, wow, you're an 80s baby.
I know, but think about it. The 2000 babies are over 20.
Right.
So it's getting rough out here.
Hey, man, listen, I don't care what they say. Listen, I'm still that dude anyway.
All right, listen, babe, I agree.
Look, facts only. Facts only. But listen, I am, I'm glad we're getting a chance to sit here once again across the table from you. Of course, we are a Love Like That podcast. We are Brandon and Jacquelyn. We have been at this thing called marriage for quite a while. We've been at this thing called love for quite a while. We're certified relationship coaches, so we do everything from marriage coaching to premarital coaching. We do it all. We've seen it all. We have done it all. We have seen so many different things. So we are here to just share what we have learned and what we've seen in our experiences, and hopefully it resonates with you guys out there that are listening and or watching. So that's what it is. That's why we do it. That's why we love doing it. It is our purpose. It is our ministry that I like to call it. It's our ministry. It's really what our purpose is.
A ministry.
It is. I'm glad I get a chance to do it with you.
Absolutely, babe.
So
no better co-host than you.
Your check is in the mail. We had a conversation today. The most, I think, we've had transparent conversations, but this is probably the most transparent, honest, therapeutic, closure and brand new opening conversation I think we've had in a long time. And we've had great conversations in between, but every once in a while you get like those, wow, this really shapes and shifted or elevated our relationship.
Yes.
And we had that today, and that was so not prepared for that. We were not planning to have that conversation.
Right. It really just came about just in one of our just morning, talks. Like any other, just checking in, and one thing led to another, and 2 hours later, we're like,
literally
whoa.
2 hours later.
Yeah. 2
hours
later. It was crazy. It was crazy, but it was so needed, and it really elevated us to that next level, of just wow, just putting it all on the table and just building and designing, the life and the marriage that we want just by having those conversations.
And for people who are out there, really what it is for us, and I just think for any married couple, is being able to have those conversations that, even if you have, found resolutions in them, whatever they may be, sometimes going back to those things and just conversations around them helps to reveal even more that you probably never realized or understood. Every couple has a testimony. Every couple has a challenge, or whatever the case is. I don't care what it is. And so, we figured out what it was for us, and we were able to get past that, and we were able to move on beyond it. But sometimes, though, having those conversations, even revisiting the things that we overcame, still ends up revealing even more stuff.
Right, exactly. It's like, I thought we have talked about like every aspect of
Every aspect.
just
And it's like,
all of these things, and it's like you just discover so much more. But even in that moment, like you may have those times where it takes you back to something like clearly you may not necessarily be happy about, but just it's like a new level of intimacy in it. Just the way the stories came together, the way, you know, that's the way I remember it. You know,
Yeah.
like the stories come together because we were the only two people in the situation, and just that's the way you recall it. That's really the way it was, you know.
Right.
Just talking through the situation was
And you know what it was, though, for me, I think, is having sometimes looking back on situations that you've overcome or that you have been able to get beyond or resolve or come to a conclusion harmoniously to. It reveals not just, wow, you know, we went through that, but it reveals, wow, how much I've grown through that or from that. I'm not that same person I was. Yeah, you know, I don't even remember being that person. I was that person.
right.
I did that.
Right,
I don't even remember that.
Right.
Jackie,
right.
look, Jackie can. I can have a conversation with Jackie about something. I'm like, yeah, you remember? And then you did that, and then she's like, I did that.
That was me.
That was me. I'm like, yeah, and she's like, babe, I don't even remember that. Jackie has had about 9 lives being my wife, and about 30 lives of being since being my girlfriend.
Yeah.
From girlfriend to being a fiance to being married, I think I have probably dealt with about a million metamorphoses of Jacquelyn.
Yes, yes.
And it's been through it all, you know. So
Yeah.
I think that's really what it's like. Wow, I was that person. How much have I grown since then?
Right.
You know?
It really is looking back and acknowledging the growth, like through it all, and you know, had this happen, had that happen, you know, had this not happen, like, you know, just kind of trying to imagine like if things would have been different.
Right.
But you know, one thing that we know and we stand is that God has ordained us to be here, and like
Yeah.
ordained our story, and it's really something.
It's
really
true.
something.
But then all, you know, like I said, it's just like a wild situation. It's like, you know, man, you know what? I can't believe I was that much of a pushover. Man, I can't believe I was that much of a brat, or I can't,
Yeah.
or whatever. You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's so many different things that come with that, though. Which leads me to this question: how transparent is too transparent?
Oh,
For men, it's one thing. For women, it's another. I already know that. I know that already. But you tell me.
I mean, you're asking me. So for me,
How about for
They're
women?
really-
How about for women in general? And then you can tell me for you, or
I
vice versa, however you
mean,
want to do it.
I mean, I think people have to be comfortable sharing in their own time. But if this is the person that I have committed my life to, then I want to be able to tell them everything. And by everything, I mean everything. Like, this is the person that I spend the majority of my time with. You know, this is your partner in life. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be able to share all aspects of life with that person. So for me, I mean, there isn't a, how transparent is too transparent. Just say, like, this is what it is.
Right.
Not holding back secrets. Like, this is me. This is you. And it has to build over time. Like,
Yeah, you're not gonna come into this thing
it absolutely.
and jump like, babe, I had a nasty burrito and I was sitting on that toilet for like about 5 hours.
no,
I was
right.
sitting. You're
But
not-
just,
you're
it
not gonna be
has
doing
to
that.
grow. It
Yeah,
has
yeah.
to grow. It has to grow. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to. And I think, I'll say for men, one of our mentors, I remember used to say, be transparent with a filter. Talking about for husbands here, okay? For husbands, be transparent with a filter. That's what he used to tell me. And he said it like that because he said you want to make sure that your wife feels that she knows everything about you, but at the same time, though, have a filter, because it's not the fact that you want to keep things from your wife because you're being deceitful. It's more so about the fact that because you are the husband, you are the protector. Being the protector of your wife is not just about physical. It's about mentally, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. And there are certain things that you as the husband, you just may have to take the brunt of that, and just have to you have to live with that. You're gonna have to sit with that like for your life, or for a majority of the time, because that you need to be able to keep peace in your house, or whatever the case is. Now, having said that, there are some men who, that's their business, whatever the case is, who decide to say, well, shoot, I got like five pieces over here on the side. My wife don't need to know that, whatever the case is. She happy over here, blah, 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 blah. And, that if that's what you're doing, that's you. That's I can't call another person's marriage. But, sometimes that's abusing the transparency or the filter. That's abusing the filter. Because, I feel like, that's really what it is about. If a person is really know all aspects of you, do they really know you?
Right.
Do they really know you?
Yeah.
I was talking about that yesterday, talking about, the whole Facebook thing, about what the people know about me or whatever the case is. And I was like, wow, like I really realized that there are a lot of people that knew me, and then there are a lot of people who know me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is like. Okay, if you're holding certain things from your spouse, it's like they knew who you were, but they don't know who you are.
Exactly. And if you're holding back like information, if you can't really bear yourself to the person that you have vowed
to create a life with.
Exactly. To create a life with, to just, this is it. Like, nobody signs up to be married to get divorced. So that is your assumption that this is it. So if I am going to go to that extreme, I want to know all aspects of the person. Like,
now, at the same time, though, you wouldn't. But no one would be the wiser if you didn't know. You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. But if it
ever comes out.
But as the person, clearly, people know. What I'm saying, what you're holding back in relationships and such. But if you can't even bear that aspect of yourself, you don't even like yourself. You see what I'm saying? If I can't reveal certain aspects to you, then clearly those are aspects that I really don't like about myself, and if
right, yeah, because I shouldn't have to hide that from you, because I
exactly
know everything.
And so instead of just I'm just
gonna should be comfortable,
shut that away in the closet, like, let's do the work to really, like, hey, this is let's sign up for what we signed up for. Like, let's put in the work to do what we signed up for.
And you just made a good point, though. It's like, that means that you're not comfortable with something about it within yourself.
Right, exactly.
And so, yeah, it's like,
which should spark some type of change. Like, if you're not comfortable with something in yourself, then you're the only person that can change it.
Very true. Very true. Because for me, I feel like, like I've always told you, like, I never wanted to be that person that was like, okay, hiding, something is like, you're supposed to be my best friend. You're supposed to be the person who I share everything with. And I've always felt like, okay, I need to be okay with myself. I need to be comfortable 100% within myself first before I can even be that for you. And that's part of getting, preparing to be married or preparing to get married. Are you really comfortable with the person that you are? Can you be comfortable with yourself? That doesn't necessarily mean, can you be okay by yourself and not be lonely? No, it means, are you actually okay? Do you love the person that you see back in the mirror? Are you proud of the person that you see back in the mirror? Are you comfortable with all of the accomplishments, all of the failures, all of the flaws of that person? That's what that means. Are you comfortable with yourself? Not necessarily about, okay, I could be single for 30,000 years, or I could live by myself or whatever. It's, are you proud of the person? Are you okay with the person that you are? And if you are, then you should be okay with being able to present that person to your spouse, or to the person that you plan on spending the rest of your life with. And you're always gonna change and evolve as a person. But the thing is, though, is that as long as there is constant communication between the partners, they'll always understand what the trajectory is of your life.
Exactly.
And they'll know how to balance themselves, or how to adjust themselves, or how to help you adjust yourself, because it's not necessarily the right path for you. They see it as your best friend, your life partner, your husband, your wife. We are there to help each other move along and to elevate. So, you made a good point though about that. So I just wanted to say, look, how they say though, kudos to you. So yeah, I think that's important. But the transparency aspect, I think for men it's hard. It's harder. It's not hard for men, but it is harder for men. We have to be tough. We have to be, you can't see the flaws. You can't see the hiccups. And I know, in all honesty, I'm like that in a lot of ways. Just not with you, because with you see it. But just in general, I know for me, like, you're going to see the finished product. You're never going to see the other stuff that goes along with that, whatever the case is. And sometimes it's ugly. Sometimes it's ugly. And there are times where I don't even want you to see it, though. I try my best in all honesty to make sure that I package it as perfectly as possible. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. And I just have to kind of just roll with it, though, But I think that's another part of the trust, or the intimacy of the connection of the marriage, is that I should be comfortable being intimate enough, not necessarily sexually, but just intimate enough, meaning just being naked as far as just myself, my person, and you seeing me, and not just you knowing I'm here, but you actually seeing me. You see me, and it's okay, because you love me, and all that, What was it? What's the joke? It was the whole thing. This is your man? Yeah, that's my man.
That's right.
You gonna I'm gonna stick by him.
Right.
This is your man?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna stick by him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was from Dr. Phil. I gotta look at that clip up. But yeah, that's it was. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, being naked, like it says in the Bible, they were naked and not ashamed. That's what it was. That's what it has to. That's really what the whole purpose of marriage is for us to get back to that essence. Not necessarily, literally at times, because clearly, we're married. So yeah, we're going to see each other naked. But in the essence of just you seeing me as in my rawest form. That's what it is. Yeah. I said not to get all deep about this, but that's really,
that's real.
That's really what
that's
it is.
what it is. Being willing to bear it all to this other person. What better person than the person that you committed to? I think it really at times with just different situations that I see and hear going on, I think people almost have to, in some senses, let's get back to the basics in terms of the 1, 2, 3s. Why did we even get together? You get so far off course, just really caught up in just presenting whatever image you want to present instead of truly going back to what you said,
Mm-hmm.
like being naked and really showing them who you are.
I just thought about this. Story time.
Okay.
The first time I actually had to expose myself and show my real self, show me the imperfect Brandon to you. I remember what it was. Actually, this kind of goes because this is everything we talk about. The first time I actually had to reveal the shortcomings of myself that I hated. We were dating. It was 2010. We already gotten back together, and we were like, okay, I'd said this. My plan was to, I didn't care about being your boyfriend. I care about being your husband. So if you're down with that, let's do this. And you were like, yeah. And I'm just gonna be honest here, people. Okay. Jackie was being real. She was kicking my. She was on my tail. She was on my tail. She was on my tail. She really was. Because, I was getting attitude. I was getting, because we got, what? And we literally talked about this. Like, everything happened so fast. But when you look back at it, it's like, wow. Like, that really happened fast. But when it was going on, we didn't realize it. But, like I said, that was August when I said that. And it's like, it's December. And she's looking at me like,
oh, yeah.
Where's his ring?
I mean,
where's his ring? I'm like, Dad, yo, it's been like 3.5, 4 months. And then one of the other friends got engaged.
Meet each other at
we didn't just meet each other. Yeah, it'd been building up for years.
Right.
Yeah, it'd been building up for years.
Yes.
But that had happened. And one of her girlfriends that had been dating someone for like a gajillion years. He finally popped the question. I was like, Lord, I know if he did it, and doggone, I know Jackie gonna be looking at me like, okay, what's up? So, I said, I'm trying to get all this stuff together now. It was New Year's. It was the New Year's Eve party that we went to. The New Year's party that we went to was turned in 2011. And do you remember that?
When we went out with Brittany and Jane?
Yeah. Do you remember that night?
Oh, yeah.
That was the worst New Year's I think I've ever had.
And
in my
it really,
life.
even like it just started off like our reservations.
It was so much
ended
going
up
on.
like not going through, so we ended up kind of just
going somewhere else.
And
the whole entire time, like I said, Jackie's giving me. She gave me attitude the entire night.
The night, and by the end of the night,
and all of this is because, like I said, because she was like, "Where's his ring?" I already know. Where's his ring? So
we
came to the conclusion
getting the itch a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, are we playing games?
Yeah, and Jackie's such a different person now. We thank God for growth.
Yeah, we do.
Because she was not here for the games. Neither was I, but she was like, "Yo, let's get this thing rolling." But yeah, oh man, it was just bad. We went to this club, and it was just a whole situation that happened. It was a lot. I was just like, you know what? And by this time, she had pushed me to my limit, and because she's like, "Where's this?" We're like, "You playing games, whatever case is." The whole entire time, she didn't know what was happening, and I lost it. I think that's probably the first time I had probably like legitimately gotten like angry with you, like angry with you. I lost it. Next thing I know, I'm in tears. Like, I'm like, you don't know what I've been going through trying to get you this ring. Whatever the case is. Like, so.
We both out there in tears.
Listen, so yeah, it was bad. So here's what I'm saying. The whole transparency moment. I know I'm going through this long story, but I'm building up to it. I promise. I know I'm 50-50. Either I'm really short and straight to the point, or I'm like long-winded. I'm never in between.
Listen.
But so I was working at T-Mobile at the time, and I remember I was going through a lot of stuff at that time, just at home. Just getting stuff, getting my own life together with all the other stuff I had going on at the house. And it was a situation where I was just, I had that going on. My checks were being percentage of my check was being taken out or whatever the case is. I'm having a brain freeze. What do you call it? I'm having a brain freeze. Fudge. They were taking a garnish. They were garnishing my wages. That's what it was. Because I was out here with some issues here. Garnishing my wages, man. And I'm just like, yo, I'm trying to get this ring, and this is not happening fast enough. I want it to happen during Thanksgiving, it didn't happen. Then we were past Christmas, didn't happen. I was like, yo, I was trying to get it by New Year's, and it just didn't happen. And it was so much. And by December, I knew that wasn't gonna happen by New Year's. And I was like, yo, something's gotta give. And anybody that knows me, or knew me, I should say, anybody who knew me at that time, or before then, knew I was an avid sneakerhead. Okay? 100 pairs sitting in the closet. 100 pairs sitting in the closet, to whatever the case is. Pristine. Got the J's sitting on ice for like 5 years because I'm trying to break necks when I pull them out because no one else has got them as fresh as I do. Right? DMP packages, all that stuff, whatever the case is. You know, I always say that me and my crew, we were the OG, we were the original sneakerhead crew. Before it became like the fad, we were just in it because of the love of it, not because it was the hype thing to do, whatever the case is. Death to all hype beasts. But anyway, that's another topic of conversation. Anyway, so I was all about that. And nothing came between me and my Jordans, my Nikes, my Dunks, my J's, my whatevers. I was all about that. Sneaker release, I had them all. Didn't matter. I had everything. And I was like, nothing came between me and my Jordans. And then I was like, man, you know what? Brandon, you can't go to sleep with these Jordans at night, but you can go to sleep with Jackie, though. You can go to sleep with Jackie, though. Those Jordans aren't going to keep you warm at night, when you lonely, dog. So, yeah, exactly. I knew who I wanted, and I said, and at that time, I mean, you look back on it, and I was like, well, okay, well, yeah, but that was a big deal for me. I just that was me. That was my image. I was a fly dude with the fresh kicks on, with a case of fresh fit, but the kicks just set it off. That was me. And so that was I had created an identity. I had created an identity around that, and that was part of me. And that was the beginning of the dying of old me, and dying to self, or dying to us. And so I was like, you know what, I gotta do it. So I literally, I was like, yo, they all gotta go. Literally sold my collection. I think I was down to like 10 pairs by the end of it. I mean, I cleaned house.
What did you start with?
I clean house. Oh, I sold my Concords. I sold.
No, I'm saying, like, how many did you start from to get down to 10 pair?
I think. How many did I start with? I say I was probably about close to 100. Yeah, let's say yeah.
Wow.
So, to get the ring that I knew that you would love, I knew that. I was like, yeah, you can't just get any old rinky-dink thing. So you gotta be
baby
like,
love.
Right, exactly.
It's affectionately known as baby love.
But I forgot about that. Wow, I haven't heard that in years.
I know.
So yeah, I'm like, okay, I gotta sell these shoes, man, because I gotta get this money quick. So, I was like, okay, yo. So I mean, like, I started putting up videos on YouTube. I started doing eBay. Started putting links on YouTube. Start putting links on eBay to my YouTube page so they could see them all. Whatever case, I'm selling everything. Like, I'm trying to get rid of everything. I'm going to sneaker events. I'm going to sneaker con events. I'm like out here like trying to get rid of like everything. I was like, it's just I was willing to reduce myself for the enlargement of us. And that's really what it was. Because you were worth it. No other chick, I wouldn't think any other girl I was dating, like, screw you. Like, you're not, no. I'm really, seriously. No one was worth it to me.
Thank you.
And you understand, like, black man in his J's, yeah, that was real. So yeah, I got rid of that. I got rid of those shoes, and I got the money, and I was getting the money to buy the ring. Fast forward to New Year's. Now we get to the big deal. Like I said, she's giving me attitude. She chopping me off. It's like, okay, it's all right, Brandon. I always, don't do it, Brandon. Right? I'm like, okay, just be calm, be cool. And I just couldn't. I lost out. By the time I was even mad. I was just so upset I'm crying. I was like, you don't even know what I'm out here doing for you. You know, whatever the case. I'm out here trying to get this ring for you, and you don't even seem to even appreciate the fact that I'm just out here being a good dude. Blah 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 blah. And you know what's going on. You know, I'm gonna have to sell my Jordans. I'm gonna have to sell my sneakers just to get this shoe for you. And you don't even know what I'm going through right now. Like back off me. Like back off me. Get away from me right now, because I don't. You didn't need to know all that. It wasn't for you to know. It wasn't for you to know.
And that's the thing about it. Like, you know, we get so caught up in.
I was broke at the time.
We get so caught up in our own. You see what I'm saying? What we see and what we perceive to be going on, without, you know, communicating. And not to say, like, clearly we're going to be, you know, you're saving up to buy a ring. So it wasn't like, hey, you know, I'm going to propose on, you know, this particular date,
right.
You know, wait on it type thing. But
that Jackie pressure, I don't know about that Jackie pressure, man. That Jackie pressure be serious, dog.
Oh my gosh. I'm playing. These people out here like,
I'm playing.
What in the...
Oh gosh. But no, but you know what it was? It was the fact of, I call it Jackie pressure, but really what it was on me as well. It was, I mean, clearly, yeah, you definitely were ready, but at the same time, though, it was really on me because I knew what I wanted to do for you, and I knew I did not want to be a man who did not hold his word. You know, I never wanted to be that guy for you. I wanted, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, because that's how I've always believed I am, and I always will be. And so I never wanted to, you know, be a liar to you, and that's really what it was. So I said that was on top of that as well. But yeah, you never, like you said, you never know what, you know, other people are going through, and of course the perception is one thing, but unless you communicate that, and had you had not said that though, you probably would have never known about it. But then at the same time though, it's funny, all the little things that happen actually could lead to bigger things. Had you had not asked about that, had you had not made a conversation about it, who knows? You probably would have been like, okay, he's playing around, you know, screw him or whatever the case is, and then we, you know, probably would have left me or whatever the case and gone and done something, you know, been with someone else or whatever. Oh, who knows? But you know, that's what I'm saying.
No, I mean, anything could have, you know, like when you don't have those conversations, when we just assume what's going on the other person's end, you know, and just make a decision based off of that without truly involving them in the situation, then yeah, you know, it could be like, oh, okay, well, you got me hyped up and you're playing games with me, you know, so I'm gonna go do. It could have been. You know, but everything, as we were kind of talking about this morning, everything happens for a reason, you know, even through the growing pains, even through the cringe-worthy moments, it all had to happen the way it happened for us to be able to gain the level of appreciation that we have for each other, you know, respect that we have for each other at this point, adoration that we have for each other at this point, and this just level of love. Like this, you said earlier, October will makes 24 years of just since we've met, and that initial, well, after, so it would be what the January after the October would be when we first started dating. Right. Yeah. You know, so just the back and forth since I was 13 years old, you know, you were 15, just all of those stages, you know, and
I said the many lives of us and many lives of you. Like I said, you have been through so many metamorphoses as far as you as a person. And I know you're like, okay, all these people, they're going through, but you're not. But the thing is, though, is that you have evolved into this amazing woman.
It's making me look crazy.
No, I'm not making you look crazy. I'm making you look like you are a phenomenal woman who did the work to make sure that you were the person that you need to be, and you did that. That's what I make you out to be. Trust and believe. You are that. Okay, you are that chick. But yeah, we were going through that or whatever cases. And after I told her what I was doing and why I had to go through all the other stuff, not only the fact of my other financial obligations I had going on, but just I was resorting to doing that because I wanted to get that ring for her so bad and so quick and for her, and she knew how I was about my sneakers anyway. She knew how I was about my shoes.
Oh yeah, no.
And once she saw that, when she
yeah.
heard that, oh, the tears start rolling down her face from that though. I don't know what it was, if it was just like why he really did it for me or whatever it was, but
Yeah, I mean, it just in that I knew how much Brandon loved his sneakers and which ones were his favorites, and just the way he was, and this guy can like give you a fact
history,
of hey,
yeah.
the history of that shoe was released on this date, et cetera, like just down to the detail. So I knew what type of sacrifice that was for him, and I mean it was major. It really, I mean, was touching at that point.
I think it's safe to say I love you more than sneakers.
I think so. I think
Okay.
it's very safe to say
I'm
that.
glad we could put that out there, so that's cool. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's what I think that was the first time circling it back up, putting it back into a boat. That was the first time I actually had to be completely transparent and completely flawed in myself to you, to really show you I didn't have it together. As much as I wanted to, it wasn't coming out the way it wasn't panning out the way I wanted it to. And I really had to come and be like, yo, this is the deal. This is the reason why. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't happy about it. I wasn't proud of it. But at the same time, though, I knew it needed to be said. At the same time, yeah, like I'm working on trust and belief. I'm out here, really, 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 trying to make it happen. So yeah, I think that's what actually helped us to start developing that transparency because mm-hmm. of that night. Because even after that, we sat and we made up late, like that night at the end of the car, like we were like, okay, this is what it is. I get it. I'm sorry. Whatever the case, I didn't know Brandon or whatever the case is, and we made good. That was such an emotionally draining.
It
New
was.
Year's.
That was not how we wanted.
New Year's really weren't great for like a good year or two.
Into the new year.
It was something, and then we finally was like, okay, cool. We think we kind of understand. We have a good understanding of our New Year's plan now. So now we enjoy our New Year's now. Yeah. We enjoy our New Year's, but yeah, having that level of transparency and openness, I think that's what started with it. So I was able to come to let you really know, really what I had going on, what I was dealing with on this side, on that side. Because I think, like I said, that was really the first time I was able to really just kind of let you understand all the other stuff I had going on, mm-hmm. and that really helps you understand. I think that helped you to understand the type of person I was. You knew the type of person I was. You knew who I was.
Yeah.
But I think it helps you to understand me even more. And to lead to other things, and I was able to understand you more. And so, I think the transparency has to come there. I think, especially for me, like I said, we don't want anybody to be able to judge us or say, or to see us that weak, or to say that we're weak, or we can't get it done. Especially from a woman that we love. We everything is for a woman. It is. Dudes don't dress fly just be dressing fly for dudes. Dressing fly for the ladies, It's really the truth though. Guys don't drive fancy cars just to be flossing on other dudes. I mean, you're competitive, but for the most part though, you do it because you're trying to pull the chicks. That's really what it is. So everything we do is for the approval of the fairer sex, as they say. So that's really what it is. But the transparency for me is that I think as long as I'm doing that, I feel that allows you to trust me more. If I'm trusting myself to tell you what's going on with me, or for you to see me, that is a signal to you that signals to you that that we are in a trusting relationship.
Yeah.
It allows us to be in that.
Yeah.
You know, so I do believe in that whole having a filter thing at times can be effective. For our relationship, nah. It doesn't. That's not what it is for us.
Right.
You know, so that's just how we roll on our side. So
Right.
it's worked out well. I would
That's
say
right.
so.
It's working.
Would
It
you agree?
really it and I think, I mean, you guys probably have heard me say this before, like it really just in the transparency and the talking through things. I mean, from simple things to complicated things, but really talking through them. And even like it doesn't always have to be talking about them or talking through them in that moment. But even going back, we're going back to the beginning, like year one, year two, this morning. But
Oh yeah, we went all the way back.
yeah,
Oh my
like
gosh.
we
What were you thinking about that
engaged
right
and
there?
like we were going through all of
I
the
thought you were crazy.
stages of our journey and just still rediscovering things about situations that we already have kind of talked through.
Yeah, the rediscovery
Yeah,
aspect.
the
Yeah.
rediscovery aspect. So for us, it works, and I know earlier you'd ask kind of, hey, how much is, how transparent is too transparent, in terms of like the women. I would say with the women, we do, as I said earlier, have to feel comfortable in that space, like, just to be 100% open, to be, not judged, to be, okay, we have the common goals, and we're pointing these things out like for growth and not, to poke fun of this person or
Yeah.
that type thing. Like it really is all for the growth of us as individuals, but for the bigger growth and the collective growth of us as one. And really just kind of coming into that, as one. I think even in just the whole transparency piece, like, I mean, I think it helped me, be more submissive, and just because I know, when we all know the plans, and
We know the
had,
play.
exactly.
We know the play that we're running.
When we all know the plans, then we know the play. And it really boils down to that, just really that communication. And we're going to make sure that everybody on the team knows what's next, and that you as the coach are leading just with a pure heart and pure intention for what's good for all of us. So, I think that boils into it too. So people have to kind of come into it when they're comfortable, but I mean, consider just this is the person that you marry, that you have signed up to spend the rest of your life with. So
Yeah.
if there's something that needs to be addressed in that relationship, then address it.
Yeah.
Like if it's something that needs to be fixed in that relationship, then let's look at how to fix it. Like I think everybody kind of gets comfortable in, just thinking that you just have all the time in the world, but like
It's not always guaranteed.
time is not guaranteed. So you can say, oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to give it a few months, or I'm going to give it this, that, and the other. Like, no,
Right.
have those conversations today. Like, you never know. Tomorrow's
Why are
not
you pushing it
promised.
off?
Exactly, because if your happiness, everybody's happiness matters.
Yeah.
Like, on a daily basis. So we're going to, not to say that we won't have our moments and we won't, I even think, kind of going back to this morning, like, I think just a good recalibration. It's been a busy week and it's been a lot going on. And just taking that time,
Yeah.
just to really, hey, sit with each other, catch up, like be intentional about being with each other, was needed.
It
Was
was. It was. I
It
enjoyed having
helped
that
us
conversation.
recalibrate and it helped us elevate.
I pray that people have that type of, that type of conversation that we had. I really think it was
Yeah.
therapeutic. It was probably one of the best conversations. It was a great reset, a great
Yeah.
elevator
Mhm.
for us.
Mhm.
But to talk about what you just said, talking about the transparency or just saying what you need to say, transparency sometimes it's not just about saying, okay, oh yeah, I did this or I did that or, whatever. It's sometimes it's about, hey, transparency. I don't like the way that this is going here, or
Mhm.
I think that we need to go another direction.
Mhm.
And sometimes people are afraid to do that. But
Mhm.
sometimes speaking your mind or having those hard conversations is a part of transparency. That's
Yeah.
another form of transparency.
Mhm.
And sometimes we avoid those conversations. So just want to put that out there. Transparency is having those hard conversations as well, or just putting yourself out there, being willing to talk about those things.
Mhm.
Now on the flip side, though, okay, now this is me being messy, but not really messy. Um, for people with the transparency issues or challenges, you're saying, uh, you know, see the person that you are. I would say, if you were talking about, are you happy with the person that you are? If you cannot be transparent, you're holding stuff, withholding things. For those people, I would say one or two things. Uh, Either work on yourself that way you can be okay with yourself, or to fix those things that you have challenges with that way you can move along from them. Or if you can't do that, or if you don't want to do that, you have to be impeccable with how you make your spouse feel, as far as if they feel like there is nothing else that you are hiding. And like I said, it sounds devious, but I'm just saying though, I'm looking at it from all aspects here. If that's the type of person that you are going to be, you have to be super tight with your stuff. Your objective, and just from a husband standpoint, my objective is to make sure that you feel comfortable at all times. Okay, it doesn't matter if that's actually happening or not, but my objective is to make sure that you feel that. Okay, now, like I said, for me, I just think that's just too much work for me to have to try to go back and try to lie and try to whatever maneuver around. So I don't do that. Eventually, though, it's going to
It's
wear you
gonna
down.
catch up with
Eventually,
you.
that's the
We
thing.
don't
Eventually,
have any
it's going.
advice for the devious.
No, we
No, I'm
don't.
just playing.
No, but I'm saying, no, I'm just being honest though, because I mean, there are some people who say, yo, she ain't got no whatever. But then your thing better be airtight, like to a T, like to a T.
Yeah.
Because I swear, because when it hits the fan though, it is going to be the worst thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
So you better be like super airtight, like ghost off power, like no one knows, like no one sees, whatever the case is. It's just, and I'm not talking about infidelity, but I'm just talking about with anything that you just don't want to, that you just don't want to reveal about yourself. And if that's really what you want to do. But I just think it's just too much work to have to go through all that. I'd rather be just honest. I'd rather just be comfortable. I don't want to feel like I'm always having to cover something. I think it's just asinine to do that. But like I said, to each his own. But the objective, like I said, can't speak for a woman, for the wives, but for the husband, our objective is to be the protectors of not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. And so we need to make sure we are doing that at all times. And even if you are being totally transparent, and that's why I try to do that. That's what I do with her. Even if it's not so great stuff, I always make sure that I come with some type of reassurance, or understanding this is what it is. However, here is the next step. Coming in with this, I just don't like this. I don't like the way you look today, or I don't like whatever. And then that's all you gotta say. That's gonna lead to problems. When you come with some solutions, that's what helps out with it. Or just next steps. Those are parts that are vital as well. So transparency, I think for me is everything. I think that's what helps to create a successful marriage, and avoids all nonsense that coming down the line, and also avoids you having to have awkward conversations or conversations that you should have had 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Mm-hmm. And now you're knee deep, and now it's like, what were we going to do here, you know? So that's the thing about that.
In marriage, I feel like you're always, you know, you're constantly going to be working at it. But I feel like if you do that work in the beginning to stop having the same arguments, to really work through some things, you solidify that firm foundation, then it gets easier.
Yes.
You know, you put that work in to say what you need, say what you want, you know, really show who you are, be vulnerable, be naked, you know, all of that, like, be intentional. And through all that helps just further firm up that foundation. So when other things come down the line, you are already in such a solid place, you're able to let it flow.
Agree.
You know,
agree.
It really just... It flows from
gels.
there.
It gels.
It gels. Perfect.
And then you're able to move along from that. Now, you know, I'm glad we did the work on that. That was something that, like I said, it was not easy, but because we did it early enough, it was easier.
It was.
So,
it was.
Kudos, shout outs to you on that one, baby.
Exactly.
Clean.
Cheers.
On that one, you know. So I think this is a great way to wrap it up, though. Here, you know, I think we were able to really kind of go over some important pieces of that. And, you know, I think the listeners and the viewers are able to get some good takeaways. So, babe, you know, as always, I love doing this with you. I really do. This has been exciting. You know, I've enjoyed this experience. You know, I can't wait for everybody to hear this and to see this as well. Okay, make sure, shameless plug, make sure that you are subscribing to us on on iTunes, on Spotify, on Google Podcasts. Make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, okay? A Love Like That podcast is what you need to look up and find us on there as well, okay? Also, make sure that you go and sign up to go check us out on Instagram. That is at A Love Like That _. And then we have a link in our bio which allows you to sign up for information on our upcoming events, sign up for our premarital courses, sign up for our relationship coaching that we provide as well. And so we have all these things that we're providing for people right now. We're actually signing up people right now as we speak, and we're going to start scheduling our sessions with everybody. Yeah. We're excited, and we just cannot wait to just help change the narrative about marriage and change the narrative about love. You know, and it's out here, and it's real, not perfect, but it's real and it's possible. That's what it is that we want people to understand. And so, with all that being said and done, I am your host, Brandon.
I'm Jacquelyn.
It's a Love Like That podcast. Okay, take care. Peace.